Welcome back to part 5 of the indefinite integration series. Today we are going to learn some problems based on the substitution method. Without any delay, let us start with the first problem. We will learn the method as we are solving the problem. So let's see the first question. We have integration of x into sine of x square. So I'm just going to rewrite it as sine of x square into x dx. Now what we have to substitute is that term whose derivative is present fully or partially in the question itself. So if you see x square, if I were to put that as t and if I were to differentiate that with respect to x, I would get 2x equal to dt by dx. Currently, if you see in your problem, you have x into dx. So if you were to transfer this dx over there and the 2 down, you would get x dx as half of dt. So this x dx can be replaced by half dt, and of course this x square will be replaced by t. So the entire problem, because of these substitutions, gets converted in the variable t. So now we are left with integration of sine t into half dt. Of course sine of x square was anyways not possible to be integrated, but now that we have replaced x square by t and the other things have also happened because of that, now we have a very simple problem. Integration of sine t with respect to t, of course we can keep this half outside, so integration of sine t is minus cos t, so the answer will be half into minus cos t plus c. Now since we have done a substitution, we have to resubstitute, so we'll have to replace t back as x square, and so we get minus half into cos of, and in place of t we will put x square and a plus c at the end. I hope this method is clear to you. Let us see one more problem to establish this method thoroughly. We have integration of 1 upon x into 1 plus log x whole cube. I keep this 1 by x aside with dx, and then I put this 1 plus log x equal to t, because I know the derivative of log x is 1 by x, so you'll get 0 plus 1 by x equal to dt by dx. So 1 by x dx becomes dt. So this 1 by x dx simply will be replaced by dt. This 1 plus log x will get replaced by t. So this will become 1 by t cube. Integration of 1 by t cube is minus 1 by 2t square plus c. And then I just replace t back as 1 plus log x. And so I get minus 1 upon 2 into 1 plus log x the whole square plus c. Let us see one more sum now. We have integration of sec cube x tan x into dx. Now I separate a sec x and keep it with tan x. So you have a sec x tan x dx here and a sec square x. So the sec cube x was split up as sec square x into sec x, and that sec x was multiplied with this tan x and kept with dx. So the derivative of sec x is very clearly present here as sec x tan x. So let us put sec x equal to t. So when you put sec x equal to t, you get sec x tan x dx equal to dt. I have just done that in one step. I haven't taken an extra step there. So sec x tan x dx becomes dt. So this entire thing will get replaced by dt, and this sec square x becomes t square. So when you integrate t square with respect to t, you get t cube by 3. You put t back as sec x, so you get 1 by 3 into sec cube x plus c. This should be x. I'm sorry for that. Then question number 4. We have integration of x cube upon x square plus 1. Now I'm just writing this x cube as x square into x, and I've kept this x with dx. And I'm not just going to put x square equal to t, because you know that the derivative of x square is partially present here. There is x there, but still I'm not going to put x square as t. I'm going to put x square plus 1 as t, so that the root gets simplified. So x square plus 1 is t. So 2x is equal to dt by dx. So x dx becomes half dt. Also remember that x square is t minus 1. You just move this 1 on that side. So x square is t minus 1. Now x square as t minus 1 will get replaced here, will be placed over here, will get substituted here. Root of x square plus 1 will become root t, and your dx, x dx will become half dt. So we have done all the required substitutions. So we have t minus 1 upon root t with a half dt here. We keep this half outside, we split the root t, so you get t by t raised to half, you get 1 upon root t here. I've intentionally written this root t as t raised to half here because t upon t raised to half will become t raised to half by indices. And then we simply integrate. The integration of t raised to half is 2 by 3 t raised to 3 by 2 minus 1 by root t, the integration is 2 root t plus c, and then we just replace t back everywhere as x square plus 1. Moving to the next question, question number 5. You have sec x tan x upon sec square x plus 4. That's quite obvious. We have sec x tan x present with dx, so we put sec x equal to t, sec x tan x dx becomes dt. You get dt upon t square plus 2 is written as 2 square. So this is 1 upon x square plus a square, something we've learned in the earlier video. That is 1 by a tan inverse of x by a. So this becomes 1 by 2 tan inverse of t by 2, and then t is replaced back as sec x. So you get half tan inverse of sec x by 2 plus c. Come to the sixth question now. Now in question number 6, we have integration of x sine inverse of x square upon root of 1 minus x raised to 4 into dx. Now you have to be a little careful here. This is a slightly complicated expression, but we'll just separate out things and it will become easier to see. So sine inverse of x square is kept aside, and x upon root of 1 minus x raised to 4 is kept with dx. And now I'm going to substitute this entire sine inverse of x square equal to t, because when I derivate this, and I'll derivate it with the help of chain rule, you'll get 1 upon root of 1 minus x square the whole square. So that is 1 upon root of 1 minus x raised to 4 into derivative of x square is 2x, that is dt by dx. So currently we have x upon root of 1 minus x raised to 4 with dx. So we will just transfer this to over there and dx on this side. So you'll get x upon root of 1 minus x raised to 4 into dx equal to half dt, which means this will get replaced by half into dt. Sine inverse of x square, the whole thing will get replaced by t because we've put that as t. So you have t into half dt, we keep half out, the integration of t is t square by 2, you put t back as sine inverse of x square, so that will become sine inverse of x square the whole squared with a 1 upon 2 and this 2 getting multiplied becoming 1 by 4 outside. Come to question number 7. We have log of x plus 2 minus log x the whole upon x into x plus 2. I'm going to put this entire numerator, which is log of x plus 2 minus log x, equal to t. The derivative of log of x plus 2 is 1 upon x plus 2 minus the derivative of log x is 1 by x equal to dt by dx. We take LCM here, so x into x plus 2 is the LCM, x gets cross multiplied, x plus 2 gets cross multiplied, so x minus x gets cancelled. You have minus 2 upon x into x plus 2 equal to dt by dx. Now I'm going to take this minus 2 and transfer it on the other side. You'll get a minus half dt there and you get the dx up. So you get 1 upon x into x plus 2 into dx is minus half dt, which is what we have here. 1 upon x into x plus 2 into dx becomes minus half dt, and this entire numerator is t. So we'll replace this entire numerator by t. 1 upon x into x plus 2 dx will be replaced by minus half dt, so I've run that there. Minus half goes out, integration of t is t square by 2, this becomes minus 1 by 4 outside. T is replaced by log of x plus 2 minus log x, and that whole thing is raised to 2 plus c. Come to question number 8. You have integration of a square e raised to x plus b square e raised to minus x the whole raised to minus 1. So first of all, we'll just transfer this whole thing down. It's raised to minus 1, so it will go into the denominator. So 1 upon a square e raised to x plus b square e raised to minus x is what you have. Now we take this e raised to minus x and write it as 1 upon e raised to x, and then we take LCM. So this LCM and that LCM will get transferred up, so you'll get e raised to x dx in the numerator, a square e raised to 2x plus b square in the denominator. Then I'm going to put e raised to x equal to t because the derivative of e raised to x is present here with dx. So e raised to x dx will become dt, so the numerator becomes dt. A square e raised to 2x will become a square t square, which can be written as at whole squared plus b square. And now that is 1 upon a x square plus a square formula, so 1 by a tan inverse of x by a, so that's 1 by b, your a is actually b here, so 1 by b tan inverse of a t by b, coefficient of t is a, so you'll also have to divide by a outside. So 1 upon a and 1 upon b becomes 1 upon ab, tan inverse of a by b and t becomes is replaced by e raised to x plus c. Come to question number 9. You have e raised to x into 1 plus x upon sine square of x e raised to x dx. You see this x e raised to x, I'll put that as t because it's anyways causing a lot of trouble with such a complicated angle inside sine square. So that is a sign of getting rid of it. And also we have e raised to x into 1 plus x in the numerator. That is also an indication. So when we put x e raised to x equal to t, you do this by UV rule. So you get x e raised to x plus e raised to x into 1 equal to dt by dx. In these two terms I take e raised to x common, so you get what? 1 plus x in the bracket. You transfer the dx there, so e raised to x into 1 plus x into dx becomes dt. That is precisely your entire numerator. So your numerator becomes dt. Denominator will be sine square t, which will go up and become cosec square t. Integration of cosec square t is minus cot t plus c. So that's minus cot, and t is replaced by x e raised to x plus c. Now let's come to sum number 10. This is a slightly important sum. You have integration of root of x minus 2 upon x dx. Now looking at the expression, there is absolutely no indication as to what is to be put as t, because there is no term present whose derivative is also present in the sum. But nevertheless, just to get rid of this root, because root always troubles us, so just to get rid of this root, I am going to substitute root of x minus 2 equal to t. Now when I put root of x minus 2 equal to t, and if I square both sides, I get x minus 2 equal to t square. Now I am differentiating this with respect to x. So x minus 2, the derivative will become 1 minus 0 equal to the derivative of t square with respect to x will be 2t but into dt by dx. Which means that this dx, if I cross multiply, this dx will become 2t dt. So this dx can be replaced by 2t dt, and your root of x minus 2 will get replaced by t. What about x? For x value we can find from here. So x is what? It is t square plus 2. So this x will get replaced by t square plus 2. This dx will get replaced by 2t dt, and root of x minus 2 will get replaced by t. So let's see what happens. So the numerator root of x minus 2 has become t. The denominator x has become t square plus 2. The dx has become 2t dt, as I had discussed just a couple of seconds back. Now you take this 2 out, t into t will become t square. So you have t square upon t square plus 2. Now here's what we do. We will add 2 and subtract 2. Try to get the denominator in the numerator. So I got a t square plus 2 minus 2 in the numerator, and then I split this t square plus 2 across this minus sign. T square plus 2 upon t square plus 2 becomes 1 minus, you have 2 divided by t square plus 2. This 2 is written as root 2 whole square. So this is 1 upon x square plus a square formula. So you have this 2 out. Integration of 1 is t minus, now you have this 2, and this will become 1 by root 2 tan inverse of t by root 2 plus c. 2 upon root 2, numerator becomes root 2. Then we also multiply this 2 inside. So this will become 2t minus 2 root 2 tan inverse of t by root 2 plus c. And then we just replace t by root of x minus 2 everywhere. So this t will become root of x minus 2 minus 2 root 2 tan inverse of this t becomes root of x minus 2. So this whole thing is tan inverse of root of x minus 2 upon 2 plus c. Now another important sum, question number 11 here. You have integration of 1 upon sine cube x, root of sine cube x into sine of x plus alpha. Alpha, remember, is a constant. So that's 1 upon root of sine cube x, and we'll apply the sine of a plus b formula here. So sine x cos alpha plus cos x sine alpha in the bracket here. Now within this bracket I will take a sine x common. I take a sine x common. So when I take a sine x common, it comes out and sine cube x will become sine raised to 4x. What happens inside? Sine x into cos alpha, sine x has gone out, you are left with a cos alpha. But when you take a sine x out common from here, it's not there at all. So you'll have to divide this by sine x. So what is that going to become? Cos x upon sine x will become cot x into sine alpha. I will repeat, I take a sine x common from this bracket. So it goes out and becomes and multiplies with this sine cube x and makes it sine raised to 4x. Sine x cos alpha will become cos alpha since sin x has gone out. Here there was no sin x, so even then I have taken a sin x common, which means this whole thing is divided by sin x. That cos x divided by that divided expression, which is sin x, cos x upon sin x, will become cot x, and this sin alpha is a constant over here. Now this sin raised to 4x will come out of the root as sin square x, and it will go up and become cos x square x. Meanwhile, this root of cos alpha plus sin alpha cot x remains. Now I am going to precisely put cos alpha plus sin alpha cot x equal to t. Remember, cos alpha and sin alpha are constants since alpha are constants. So derivative of cos alpha is 0 plus sin alpha is kept aside into derivative of cot x is minus cos x square x equal to dt by dx. So cos x square x into dx, so this dx comes here and multiplies with cos x square x, and this minus sin alpha is transferred there, so that's minus 1 upon sin alpha dt. So cos x square x dx will be minus 1 upon sin alpha dt. The whole thing under this root is going to be t, and so your expression will be 1 upon root t into 1 upon sin alpha dt. Minus 1 upon sin alpha is kept out, it's a constant. The integration of 1 upon root t is 2 root t plus c, and then you put t back, and of course the sin alpha goes up and becomes cosec alpha, so minus 2 cosec alpha into, and this root of this t is replaced back by cos alpha plus sin alpha cot x plus c. Now I'm going to introduce type 5 in this video. What is type 5? Integration of 1 upon a sin square x plus b cos square x plus c. If you have sums or problems which look like this, here's what you do. You divide numerator and denominator by cos square x. Let us take an example and understand this. I'm taking question number 12, 1 upon sin square x plus 2 cos square x plus 3 to be integrated. It's exactly falling in this format, right? So we divide numerator and denominator by cos square x. So when you divide numerator and denominator by cos square x, 1 upon cos square x will become sec square x. So there is a sec square x dx here. The denominator becomes sin square x upon cos square x, which is tan square x, plus 2 cos square x upon cos square x will become just plus 2, plus 3 upon cos square x will become 3 sec square x. Now this is sec square x dx upon tan square x plus 2 plus 3 into the sec square x becomes 1 plus tan square x by trigonometry identity. If I were to simplify this, this is tan square x plus 3 tan square x becomes 4 tan square x plus 2 plus 3 will become 5. So now you have a sec square x upon 4 tan square x plus 5. Now this is a classic case of all the sums that we just did by the substitution method. I'm going to put tan x equal to t because sec square x dx will become dt. So this will become dt upon 4t square can be written as 2t whole squared plus 5 can be written as root 5 whole squared. So that is 1 upon x square plus a square. So that's 1 by a tan inverse of x by a. So that will become 1 by root 5 tan inverse of 2t by root 5 divided by coefficient of t. So divide by 2 or multiply by half ahead plus c. That's 1 upon 2 root 5 tan inverse of 2, and t is replaced back as tan x. So this will become 2 tan x upon root 5 plus c. I hope you understood all the 12 problems that I dealt with today. Until next time, goodbye.